Hello everyone, I am Pani from Google Cloud's Apigee. Welcome to the second part of the second video on 503 Service Unavailable Error under the Edge Runtime Errors module of the Apigee Troubleshooting series. In this video, I will demonstrate how to troubleshoot and resolve 503 Service Unavailable Error returned by Apigee Edge with the error code messaging.adapters.http.flow.serviceunavailable. To follow along with the information in this video, you should have an Apigee Edge account. And if you haven't watched the video on Introduction to Runtime Errors and 503 Service Unavailable Error in the Edge Runtime Errors module of the Apigee Troubleshooting series, I suggest you to check them out using the link provided in the description. Specifically, if you haven't watched the first part of the second video on troubleshooting 503 errors caused by DNS issues, I suggest you to stop here and watch the first part. The first part introduces and discusses in depth about 503 service unavailable errors caused due to DNS issues and network configuration issues that can occur between Apigee Edge and the backend service. I will now demonstrate how to troubleshoot and resolve a 503 service unavailable error caused due to a network configuration at the backend service. Consider the API proxy demo API, which is configured with the backend service demo-target.apg.net. Start the UI trace on this proxy and make some requests. Oh, the requests are failing with 503 service unavailable errors. The response shows that these requests are failing with the fault code messaging.adapters.http.flow.serviceunavailable. Like in the previous demo, where the failures were caused by DNS issues, the request failed right after the target flow started. That's even before it could be sent to the target server. You can see here that the elapsed time for each of the API requests is still around 3 seconds. As mentioned earlier, this is the default connection timeout value for the connection to establish with the backend service. This indicates that the 503 error is occurring while the message processor is trying to establish a connection with the backend service. Check the analytics record in the trace. Notice that the correct IP address is used this time. This means that there is no issue with DNS resolution. Then why is the API proxy responding with 503 errors? Now, it could possibly be a network configuration issue. If you are a public cloud user, examine the network configuration and check the firewall settings on the backend service network. Verify if the Apigee message process IP addresses are whitelisted or not. If they are not whitelisted, then do work with your network administrator to ensure that the firewall settings are properly configured to allow traffic from Apigee message processors. If you are a private cloud user, then you could do further investigation by checking the message processor logs. I will now show how you can troubleshoot this issue in a private cloud setup. For demo purposes, I have a private cloud setup with the same demo API proxy and backend service configuration. I will now enable the UI trace session on this API proxy running in the private cloud setup and make some API requests. The API calls are failing in the private cloud setup as well with the same 503 errors. I will just go ahead and fetch the message ID associated with the API request from the AX section in the UI trace. This helps us to locate the corresponding log messages in the message processor logs. Now, I will log into the host where the message processor is running and open the system.log file and search for the message ID. Here we get the log messages associated with the message ID of the API request which failed earlier. This is how you can find details of an API request which failed with a 503 error in the message processor log files. The error message on connect timeout and the last IO 3000 milliseconds, which is 3 seconds, clearly shows that there is a connection timeout error while the message processor is trying to connect to the backend service. This time, even with the correct IP address. You could now execute telnet hostname port command from the host where the message processor is running to check if there is any network connectivity issue with the backend service. Even the telnet command fails with the connection timed out error. You can see that this is a consistent failure. It can happen only if there is a firewall restriction blocking the traffic from the message processor to the backend service. At this point, we are done with troubleshooting the issue on private cloud setup. Hereafter, the steps will be common for both public and private cloud users. In this demo, the backend service demo-target.apg.net is hosted in the GCP environment. Examine the network configuration and check if there are any firewall restrictions on the backend service. Oh no, the HTTP traffic is blocked. That's why the message processor was unable to connect to the backend service. To fix this issue, remove the firewall restrictions to allow the traffic from message processor. Note that the actual procedure to allow network traffic from message processor to the backend service depends on the service provider used. You may need to work with the system or network administrators to ensure proper network configuration settings are enabled to allow the traffic flow. Now we have fixed the firewall issue in our case. I will test the API proxy again. Here you go. We are getting 200 successful responses from the backend service. Now the message processors are able to successfully establish a connection with the backend service. To summarize, we saw 503 service unavailable error caused by incorrect network configuration at the backend service network. The issue was addressed by modifying the firewall configuration on the backend service to allow HTTP/HTTPS traffic. In this video, you learned how to troubleshoot and resolve a 503 error caused due to network configuration issues. Check out the video description for more information on 503 service unavailable errors and relevant troubleshooting playbooks for your easy reference. And if you would like to know more about other possible causes of 503 service unavailable errors, please watch the other videos in this module and subscribe to our channel if you would like to get notified on future videos. Thanks. See you in the next video.